We are here today at Port Adelaide to experience a close encounter with this magnificent replica of Captain Cook's ship HMB Endeavour. But before we venture on board, a snapshot of its history. The proposal that led to this full-scale and accurate replica came from an early museum member, Bruce Stannard, a writer with a passion for maritime history and one big idea. Plans and documentations of the original ship were used to research and build this magnificent vessel. Traditional 18th century timbers, elm, oak and spruce, were difficult and expensive, so jarrah was used. Masts and spurs were made from old-growth Oregon, Douglas fir, from the USA. The ship's traditional lanterns and the large iron fire hearth were handmade in a specially installed blacksmith shop. Modern polyester was used for the running rigging and traditional manila for the standard ring. The manila rope was handmade on a 140-year-old rope walk to the exact specs of the original rope. Sails are made of Duradon, a synthetic canvas that looks and handles like the original flax canvas but lasts longer and resists rot. The Bond Corporation pledged financial support and offering it as a gift to the Australian for the bicentenary. Construction began in a specially built designed shipyard in Fremantle, Western Australia in 1988. But in 1990, Bond Corporation had financial difficulties and withdrew its support. Enthusiastic volunteers kept the project going until the Endeavour Foundation was formed, overcoming ongoing financial difficulties. The Commonwealth and West Australian governments provided some financial support, plus private benefactors Gary Weston of Weston Foods and Sydney businessman John Singleton, who were suitably impressed by the expertise, dedication, determination of the Fremantle team. Over the next 2 years, the whole team from CEO down to the cleaner agreed to a pay cut to avoid anyone being laid off. The replica Endeavour was launched on the 9th of December 1993 and underwent sea trials off the Western Australian coast. On the 2nd of October 1994, 8 years after her keel was laid, Endeavour embarked on her maiden voyage to Sydney to celebrate the 225th anniversary of Cook charting the east coast, then crossed the Tasman to circumnavigate New Zealand. Returning to Fremantle for a refit before her first world voyage. On the 16th of October 1996, she left Fremantle on a 4-year around-the-world voyage. On her return, sailing through Sydney Heads in 2000, Endeavour had sailed some 170,000 nautical miles. In over 200 voyages, around some 8,000 men and women had experienced life as 18th century seamanship. We'll now go on board. 4 anchors are carried on the bow. The 2 largest are the bower anchors. These were cast from original anchors lost on the Great Barrier Reef in 1770. The bowsprit extends over the bow, keeping the tension on the stays that hold the mast in place. Foremast 36.5 metres, mainmast 39 metres, mizzenmast 24 metres. The ship's bell marked the time and was struck every half hour. 8 bells started and ended a 4-hour watch. Fire hearth. All food was cooked here. Wood was collected on shore for fuel. Most meals were boiled. The cabins and workshops around the fire hearth were used by the carpenters, boatswains and sailmakers. The modern crew sleep in these cabins and continue to use the workshops. During the 18th century refit, this deck was added to the original coal ship to accommodate 60 extra crew. Sailors worked 14 to a watch, but messed with 6 friends. Each mess elected a cook who took their rations to the ship's cook, then collected and served it when ready. He then had to clean and stow everything away. He did this for 1 month. Then another shipmate took over. Each sailor had 14 inches, 35 centimetres, to sling his hammock at night. Officers had 18 inches, 48 centimetres. They all had to take it down, lash and stow it every morning. Today, 36 voyage crews sleep here in their numbered hammocks, just as the same as in the 18th century. Used only by the captain, but when the wealthy 24-year-old naturalist Joseph Banks and his group joined, Cook had to share. Here they all worked, relaxed and ate together during the 3-year voyage of 1768 to 1771. Here the large table has a selection of the type of plants collected. Also a copy of Linnaeus' book species Planetarium, used to identify plants new to them. His cabin to the right holds his personal items and shell collections. As this magnificent replica leaves Port Adelaide, let us have a quick look at the original ship's history. She was launched in 1764 as the collier Earl of Pembroke. The Navy then purchased her in 1768 and renamed her HMB Endeavour for a scientific mission to explore for the unknown southern land. Departing Plymouth in August 1768, life on board was rough and sometimes dangerous, with little or no privacy. A seaman had hot meal every day, meat 4 times a week, a pound of bread and a gallon of beer a day. This was supplemented with dried fish, peas pudding, oatmeal, butter or oil, cheese, fresh fish or vegetables when possible. She resumed her westward journey in December, reaching the English port of Dover on the 12th of July 1771. Largely forgotten, she spent the next 3 years sailing to and from the Falkland Islands. Sold into private hands in 1775 and renamed Lord Sandwich. Was later used as a troop ship during the American War of Independence and was scuttled in the blockade of Narragansett Bay, Rhode Island in 1778, along with 4 other ships. As at 2016 has not been precisely located, but be thought to be in Newport Harbour. James Cook was born in 1728. At the age of 28, he turned down an opportunity to captain his own ship, opting to join the Royal Navy as an able seaman. Served in the 7-Year War against the French in Newfoundland. During these years he developed surveying and cartography skills and produced charts that were used for the next 100 years. In 1768 he was promoted to First Lieutenant and given command of the Endeavour. In 1772, when promoted to Captain, he made a second voyage looking for the Great Southern Land aboard the Resolution. In 1776, whilst looking for the Northwest Passage, he was driven back by ice. He returned to the Hawaiian Islands, where, on the 14th of February 1779, Cook was killed. As you watch this magnificent replica leave, being escorted out to sea by the sailing ship, the One and All, she fires 2 of her 6 cannons as a parting farewell, slipping gently out to sea after her Port Adelaide visit.